what's up? I'm Brian here doing another video for you guys, and this time we're going to be talking about Transformers Cyberworld. They have revealed the first wave of toys coming out for the line, and this is associated with a YouTube show that will be coming out in summer of 2025. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a simple YouTube series, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. They haven't really posted a trailer as of yet, but yeah. So before I actually talk about the toys, I want to establish, because this is definitely going to be a kid's toy line. I know I've criticized kids' toy line, and I'm a 30-year-old adult, so this is obviously not geared towards me. But I wanted to establish that I still have an opinion on stuff, and I've been a kid before, so I have a feeling I have some knowledge as to what kids are into, and I know that toys have been dwindling down for kids, but I gotta say, I really like what they're doing with Transformers Cyberworld. I know that they're very simple figures, obviously it's not the generation stuff, but I can get into, one-steps and whatever. What I like about the Transformers Cyberworld stuff is it seems pretty creative with a lot of the designs. You'll see that in a second. But not only that, it seems like, at least for now, it's mostly into one scale. So it's not like you have 20 different kid-themed toy lines where you got an Optimus Prime in like 30 different things that just has a different gimmick for each toy. With that, it feels like it spams the toy aisle, and you don't see those toys move often because kids aren't interested, because it's just too much, or they don't know what they really want, or it just fills out, which takes over the generation stuff or some other line that people are more interested in. So I feel like them kind of going small but creative definitely helps push that, it's going to be something that kids might want, especially considering that it's a line that kind of works with itself. So you'll get one figure, but you'll want another figure because they'll actually kind of, associate with themselves. So I think that works. But just me personally, again, as a 30-year-old, I really like how this looks, Anyways, let's go ahead and start off with the first figure. We've got the Grimlock. Now, I will admit, the Grimlock here, not really my thing. I don't love the dinosaur mode, especially considering how the legs fold up. If there was another joint at the waist to where that could fold back, this would be totally fine. But the way this looks with the waist, it's just not doing it for me. It looks a little too spindly. However, the top looks fine. I love the dino head. I like how big it is. I like the Gatling gun on the back as the tail. And looking at this, it kind of reminds me of the Rescue Bot's Optimus Prime, so maybe we'll see a repaint down the road. I personally would like to see a beast version of Megatron because it's got the dino head as the arm. And I love the fact that the tail is the other arm, with the Gatling gun. So it reminds me of this supercharged version of the Beast Megatron. I love the head sculpt. I like that it's the classic G1 Grimlock design. I even like the chest. I know it's just a panel over top, but I like how they kind of changed up the screen design for the sides. It looks more like a car canopy, but still, and it exposes that red abdomen. I think the legs look fine here, obviously, because they didn't change the waist. But yeah, it looks fine. And then the cool thing about this is it actually works with some of the smaller figures. Now, obviously Optimus Prime or Bumblebee or whoever you have is just sitting inside. But what I like is you could pop off the top of the dino head and have this claw arm and have the dino head as almost like a helmet or something. You could obviously work out the Gatling gun still there, but it's almost like a Grimlock exosuit, and I kind of like that. One of the best Bionicle sets back in the day, yes, I'll talk about Bionicle, was Exotoa, and I never got that, but this definitely reminds me of that. Anyways, moving on, we have a Megatron. Now, this does look like a stupid-looking Megatron. You could definitely see that it is a chubby Megatron. That is because this is a rework of a figure previously from the Last Night. It's a rework of Hound with the new head. I believe that's a new gun this time, but that is the original alt mode, just with the G2 Megatron color scheme. You got little spots of purple and obviously the light green. You could definitely see that with the robot mode, and I don't mind. I kind of like it, It's so dumb, so stupid, that I just end up loving it. You could definitely see that it's Hound from the tire feet as well, but damn, I I'm so tempted to get this figure. I don't know. Anyways, moving on to what is essentially the main line, and this is going to be $10 USD, which is pretty cheap, and I think that's definitely welcoming for a lot of kids and even collectors to get into this, because it's not going to be this super expensive thing, and it's also going to associate with each other, so I think that's cool. Kind of reminds me of like the Cyberverse or the Legends class back in the day. Not Cyberverse the series, but Cyberverse the class. Anyways, starting off with Optimus Prime, I wanted to talk about this because it is a basic Optimus Prime. It's just the G1 style cab. I do like how the truck looks, especially the front of the design. The back is definitely empty and you only get 4 wheels, but the robot mode looks fine, you know, for an Optimus Prime. There's definitely some classics influence, but I'm also seeing maybe a little bit of, I don't know, War Within, maybe with the headlights or something. I don't know, I think it's a fine mix. It's just, you know, the general Optimus Prime we know. Anyways, moving on, we also have the Bumblebee, and Bumblebee's alt mode kind of reminds me of like maybe a Mustang or something. I do like the weapon and how it kind of folds down to be this kind of bladed gun thing. I don't know, I kind of like it. I especially love the colors, but the Bumblebee toy itself does remind me of that original Legends class Bumblebee, so I kind of like it. I know it's a simple Bumblebee, but I'm totally fine with it. You know, I like the color scheme. It has enough yellow and black to go with it. Could use more on the waist, but otherwise it's fine. Yeah, you're going to see some hollow bits, especially with the legs here, but, you know, again, it is that kitty toy line, so can't be too mad. This figure we knew about. This is Megabull. We saw the prototype for it. Now we got the actual figure. At least I think it was a prototype. No, it was the actual figure itself. But yeah, the black, the gold. This is Megatron if he was a bull, which I love. Now, with the Transformers Cyberworld, God, that's going to be hard. With the Transformers Cyberworld series, what it seems to be is these characters going into different climates, different maybe worlds, I don't know, but they're going to different places for, you know, to battle. And what I think they're doing is they're kind of doing a Transformers Cybertron thing, except with the original characters, where you'll get some cars, you'll get some beasts, you'll get whatever, and that's just kind of how it is with the line, because you got the different planets. So Megatron, some sort of jungle theme, I guess, transforms into a bull, and I'm totally fine with it. I like the axe. I love the design of the chest. It kind of reminds me of, I think it was Bone Crusher from the Beast Wars 2 or Beast Wars Neo, but I think we need more bold Transformers. But yeah, this looks nice. Moving on, we also have, this is Galvatron. Now, Galvatron I'm a little hesitant by, just because I don't really see it as Galvatron, except for the colors. You know, it's got the purple, it's got the gray. It also has rounded knees, which kind of remind me of Galvatron, but the head sculpt definitely does not remind me of it. He seems to have a mustache. I don't remember Galvatron having a mustache, but it definitely would go well with that red, 4-pack that's in his abdomen. He's also got a blaster gun thing that has orange blast, so I guess that also associates with Galvatron. He also has another weapon on the other hand, but yeah, the beast mode, this is the typical transformation for the beast modes on this scale. The legs just fold up and the arms are there, which is kind of lame, but I love the head sculpt. I actually kind of like how the blast looks on top of there. It also has wings. I don't think I would call this Galvatron. Again, I know what they're doing with some of these alt modes, but I would definitely like to get it as some other character. You know, it kind of works with that. You remember with the original Robots in Disguise line where the bad guys were all Predacons and you had all these different creatures? I feel like that works with this. Anyways, moving on, speaking of Robots in Disguise, we have Sky-Byte. Now, when I saw the robot mode, I thought, okay, that's an adorable looking Sky-Byte. You know, the colors are kind of basic, but I don't mind the head, even though the yellow face is kind of weird. I think the design is fine. It still has the claw arm. I like the fins on the side of the shoulders. So, you know, it's alright. Then I realized something. Oh, it's a car. Oh my god. So Sky-Byte is now a shark with wheels, and I'm totally fine with it. Definitely feels like a Robots in Disguise toy now, even though it's not much of a Robots in Disguise. You know what's funny is that there is an episode of Robots in Disguise that took place with a race, and Sky-Byte had to go in that race, so now that kind of works here. Pinned wheels, which is good because that will mean it will actually go fast. I think I gotta get this, just because, one, it's Sky-Byte, and two, it reminds me of a Hot Wheels car. It reminds me of I think it was Shark Cruiser. I'm into Hot Wheels, so totally fine with that. Anyways, moving on, we also have Mirage. When I first saw the video for this, I thought, oh, that's Starscream, it looks fine. No, it's actually Mirage. But, it's got the white, blue, and red color scheme. I love the red in the torso with the black. Definitely reminds me of some of the cockpits or some of the features on Mirage's chest. And, the wings are a little too much for the robot, especially with the gaps. I kind of wish it was a little further back. But I like the fact that he's a jet. Apparently Mirage is going to be one of the main characters in the show, so I'm fine with that. But I could definitely see this eventually turning into a Starscream, whether or not they use it for the Evergreen line or this. I guess we'll have to wait and see, but yeah, this is definitely Starscream down the road. But I don't mind that he transforms into a jet. They could transform into different things for the series, so that's pretty cool. Moving on, we also have Snarl. Now, Snarl is probably my least favorite from this line, just because I don't think the Beast Mode works the best. I know it's the same transformation, but it's a little too obvious that it's just a robot. I mean, the spikes at the top, just being one section doesn't really work for me. The head is a little too small. I like the head, but it's just small. And for the robot mode, I don't know, it looks a little too thin. I don't know how I feel about the chest design. Actually, I'm getting kind of into it. And I don't mind the tail as a weapon, but what I love about this still is the fact that they gave Snarl the Predacon colors. You got the gold, you got the orange, you got the brown. They sold it for me. They sold it for me. I don't know. For some reason, every toy has something really cool. Something I'm really into. Anyways, last but not least for this line is a giant Scorponok. And as soon as I saw the giant Scorponok, I was like, I am blown away. Apparently, this is going to be $60. So it's going to be a pricey boy. It's definitely a block. Doesn't have any leg articulation whatsoever. But it's a giant Scorponok as a toy. Sometimes toys can be toys, and that's what I like about this. It's not afraid to be a toy. It doesn't have to have this super weird gimmick, and that be the only thing it does. It can just be a toy. I love the colors. I love the bright greens, purples, and oranges. It definitely reminds me of the Transformers Energon Scorponok. I like that the tail is this large blade sword thing that can plug in his hand. I like the claw hand, but then on the other hand, you have a saw blade, which is really cool. The Scorpion mode isn't my favorite just because of how disjointed it is. You can see the legs are just, they don't even fold back. But what I like about the legs is it still forms treads. So it's not like it's just kind of flopping there, it forms something for the Scorpion mode, and the fact that it has treads again reminds me of that Energon Scorponok. I think the head sculpt is fine, especially for the robot mode. I like the fact that it's got the visor. For the guns on the shoulders, you can actually fold those up, I believe, and you can have some of the figures actually work on those. So I think that's nice that it still associates with that main line. And I don't know, I'm into it. If it's on sale, I might pick it up. I don't think I'm going to pick it up on full price because I'm Canadian. It's probably going to be $80, maybe even more. But the temptation is definitely there. So what do you guys think? Please comment below. Let me know. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and all those fun doodads. And I'll see you guys next time.